Hello everyone and welcome to the final game of the FTX Road to Miami knockouts. It is Wei Yi versus Levon Aronian, and this is the second part of the match. First part of the match was yesterday. Levon won. It was a very tough fight. The first three games ended in a draw, and then Levon got a win with the black pieces in the final game. I believe it was a Ragozin defense, and also Wei Yi did not have all that much luck in the second game of the match, where again Levon had the black pieces, and Levon won the game with not the Ragozin. He first went for the Ragozin, then he went for the Nimzo Indian defense, but it was a it was completely equal, and then I believe Wei Yi just blundered in the end game. He gave up a pawn, and then the game was completely lost. So now Wei Yi needs to bounce back, and this is his last chance. This is game 4. He absolutely must win this in order to, or rather, this is game 3. He has to win this, and he has to win in game 4 in order to force a tiebreak. So let's see how it went, as it features a most interesting move that has only been played a handful of times already on move 3. So Wei Yi opens with d4. We have knight to f6 by Levon, c4, e6. Again, saying I've had very good success here. Like I said, playing the Nimzo Indian and the Ragozin. We have g4 by Wei Yi, avoiding all of that and saying let's play this. And it's a move that on the absolute highest level has been employed only by Shahriar Mamedyarov. He employed it twice, once against Wei Yi. That's why Wei Yi probably played it against Levon, and also Mamedyarov tried it in an actual classical game in the Tata Steel Chess Tournament this year in January against Andrei Yesipenko. The game ended in a draw, so it's incredibly sharp, and it basically asks Black, do you have anything ready for this? If you don't, you will probably not have a great time playing, especially in a rapid game where you have to make quick moves. So best is, as usual, to just capture, but Levon doesn't want to have anything to do with that. He just plays bishop to b4 with check, and it is now already, as of move 3, that we have a completely new game. We have bishop to d2 blocking, bishop captures, queen captures, and now d5. Now Levon is inviting g5. That's the idea behind g4, because now he can play knight to e4 and attack the white queen. So here we have knight to c3, defending the e4 square, and now d captures on c4. We have g5 and knight to d5. We have h4 now. And bishop to d7. So incredibly sharp. But if this was actually good, everyone would play it. But for a rapid game as a surprise, I mean, it's definitely a valid attempt. So e4, grabbing the full center, attacking the knight, knight back to b6, and now knight to f3. We have knight to c6, Levon continues development, and we have a castle's queen side, queen to e7. Levon also wants the castle queen side. He's not rushing to the king side to face those marching pawns. So d5, already starting the attack. You don't want to capture. Then you just allow white to open up the position. Your king is still in the center of the board. So knight to b4, and now queen to d4, putting pressure on the g7 pawn. So f6 by Levon, and now pawn to e5, putting a lot of pressure on that f6 pawn, but Levon just castles queenside, and this is very interesting. Why would he allow this capture? Well, the thing is, Levon has a very nice trick in mind. It's not really a trick, it's a defensive idea, because after all of the trades on the f6 square, queen f7, now if something like knight to g5 going after the queen, you can play queen to g6. You just threaten checkmate, you've stopped the attack, and white doesn't really have all that much to do here. And of course, if you go knight here, then you can capture the f6 pawn, and it's perfectly safe for black, nothing happening here. So instead, we have pawn to d6, going straight for the black king, and now c captures on d6. We have e captures on d6 and queen to f7, queen to c5 with check. It seems that Levon is getting checkmated, but not really. He has to go back with the knight, otherwise he could also blunder the knight. So knight to c6, and now pawn to a4, just going after the black king regardless of where he is. King to b8, and now pawn to a5. We have knight to d5, and now bishop captures on c4. So Wei Yi is attacking here, and he is putting a lot of pressure on the black king, but he's also exposing his own king a bit much. So knight captures on c3, b captures, and rook to c8. Now Levon goes for the counter attack, bishop to b3, and now queen to h5. He has to bring the queen into the game somehow. This comes with tempo, of course the knight has to be defended. We have rook to d3, also knight to d4 is very nice, just putting more pressure on the black queen side, but rook to d3 is played here, and now Levon strikes in the center with e5, and this is now very dangerous. e4 is coming, so you have to be ready for that. We have knight to d2, and now knight to d4. Beautiful discovery, although you can defend its really hard position to play, as Wei Yi absolutely must win this in order to equalize the match and then try and win game 4. So queen to b4, getting the queen out of harm's way, and now comes the move that, well, if you don't find it, you're not going to be winning the game with white, but if you find it, then, well, white is very, very limited in the choice of moves, so feel free to pause the video here and try to find the only good move for Levon to push for a win while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting this sneaky attack. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is of course queen to e2. Now we're attacking the rook, we're attacking the f2 pawn, and the white is, it seems, is without a move. Well, you could try something like a6, you could go after the b7 pawn, but just b6 and nothing is really happening here. So bishop to d5 was played, trying to checkmate Levon's king this way, but here Levon just played bishop to c6, and he was in this position on move 26 that Wei Yi resigned the game, and a brilliant, brilliant victory for Levon, not just in the game, but also in the match. And interestingly, the match lasted for 7 games, 8th game was not necessary, as even if Wei Yi wins, it will not be enough to catch up to Levon. But interestingly, the only games that ended with a decisive result that weren't a draw were all games where Levon won with the black pieces. So that's really, really incredible, and it's something that I've mentioned quite a few times in the past couple of games that we've analyzed, that there are just a lot more wins with the black piece. I don't know why this is. It's probably because, well, usually, you know, in the old days, you knew if you had white, you had the advantage, but nowadays, people are just so well prepared with black. They just have brilliant, brilliant defensive resources. They have, you know, everything ready for everything. You can't really surprise them. So I guess that might be one of the reasons. If you guys have any other ideas, you know, feel free to share in the comments. So yeah, here you resign. You could try and fight that out. For example, bishop captures, rook captures, but it's very, very hard to find a move for white. Your rook is hanging. I mean, you could play something like rook to h3, but now after rook to d8, there really isn't a good move for white. We're going to capture this pawn here, and that's just it. But you could maybe continue if, for example, you want to try and give Levon a chance to maybe blunder. If he plays rook to c8, seems like a good idea, putting more pressure on that c3 pawn. Now d7 will win the game for white. So it's possible, but Wei Yi was very low on time. He had some 30 seconds on the clock, Levon maybe like 7.5 minutes, so he didn't want to try anything weird here. Let's say rook to d8, queen e7, and now you are already, you know, fighting for your life here. Knight to e6, we defend the rook. Rook to d6 attacks the knight, and here black would most likely resign. But yeah, after bishop to c6, Wei Yi said, all right, I've had enough. I'm disgusted with the finals, and he decided to resign here. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely done by Levon. Really another master of the mystic arts. You know, just a brilliant, brilliant positional player. and especially if you try such a crazy idea against a player like Levon, you can see that you will not have a great time, because he can just easily neutralize all the threats and just enjoy a better position. So yeah, once again, really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other games that we've missed that were really interesting, feel free to suggest them. I will go over them. But yeah, we're continuing to check up on some other suggestions. I've received a lot of suggestions regarding Gukash passing 2700 barrier, so we're gonna cover a game of his as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Always, be careful of moves like G4. You have to be ready for them, even though they are not the strongest of moves. But, if a player like Wei Yi can play it against Levon, you will most likely encounter it playing online. So yeah, once again, hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Francis Ser, Babur Nugmanov, Mago Pink, Alessandro Rigobello, and Paul Hinemund for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.